Good morning from beautiful Northwest Georgia. I'm Fred Wellman, the host of On Democracy with FPWellman. Uh, this is not going to be a regular episode. I had a great plan, and life took over. So why am I in Georgia? For those who follow me or don't know, I am senior advisor and communications director for Marcus Flowers, running for Congress against Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia's 14th congressional district. Uh, so this week I came down, actually last week, I came down here on Wednesday to prepare for the debate. So on Sunday night, last Sunday, we had the debate between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Marcus Flowers. It was carried on Georgia Public Broadcasting in their studio. Supposed to be on C-SPAN, but that's part of the story I'll tell you in a second. So I flew down last Wednesday to prep Marcus and work with his team to get ready for the debate. And after that was over, life took over. We are really excited. We had the opportunity to hang out with the folks from the circus on Showtime, who is covering the campaign between us and Marjorie Taylor Greene. My old friend and professor Mark McKinnon, whom I met when I was at Harvard, was the host for a segment about Marcus. So I stayed on for extra days to help coordinate the shoot and make sure we were ready and then help Marcus on the campaign trail. It's been an incredible week. There's times I've been very fortunate. I'm one of those fortunate guys who has found himself sort of in the middle of history, a few times. I was very fortunate to I participated in Desert Storm. I went back to Iraq in 2003 as a young soldier, participated in the second Iraq invasion with the famed 101st Airborne Division. I went back a second tour to Iraq. I was a spokesman for General David Petraeus and then General Marty Dempsey. So I sat in on, truly those, in the room where it happened kind of moments, a bunch of times. And so I'm very fortunate like that. And here I am now. I went to the Lincoln Project. Lincoln Project is a whole thing. There's actually a documentary on Showtime right now, which I hope you're watching. It's interesting. It's a very interesting window in the history. If you watched last week's episode with Steve Schmidt, you got his unique perspective on what occurred at the Lincoln Project. Once again, I was able to be a part of history, and now here I am in Georgia's 14th district, helping what I think is history as well. We are in a fight for our democracy. We are in a fight to turn around a route that is dangerous for our country. The MAGA movement is a fascist movement, is an authoritarian movement that is very dangerous. So when I had the opportunity to join my friend Marcus and be a part of his campaign earlier this year, I was happy to join. I actually left the Lincoln Project so I could be clear of any kind of entanglements with super PACs and campaigns. And here I am. And now with Marcus and I have known each other for many years. Actually, we actually met in Iraq years ago, and only realized it years later when he started running for Congress a couple years ago. It's been a fascinating week. I can only talk for a few minutes. I didn't want to leave you without a new episode. As you can see, I don't have any of my broadcast gear. Got lost in FedEx, and my poor girlfriend Heather just tried to take care of me, and FedEx didn't cooperate. But I did want to put something up and let you know what's going on as I get ready to travel back to Missouri. The debate was incredible. We got ready. We actually started preparing weeks ago for Marcus to get ready for the debate. He likes to prepare early. He knew it was key that he showed the best side of all the work he's put in. We knew who Marjorie Taylor Greene was. We actually studied a lot of her old debates. She's never debated a Democrat before. She has had previous debates. The 2020 campaign was all Zoom. 2022, the primaries were in the studio for Georgia Public Broadcasting. So we had seen her perform on camera, and so we'd study the tapes like you do, like a sports team, and we were ready. Our deputy campaign manager Molly portrayed Marjorie the first two iterations and got her energy down pretty well. And then you may have seen a story if you follow politics here in Atlanta. Sarah Miko, who was lieutenant governor candidate with Stacey Abrams' first campaign, as a brilliant debater, had actually helped Reverend Warnock prepare for his first debate against Kelly Loeffler 2 years ago. Sarah was kind enough to help us in the final days of our prep, and she portrayed Marjorie Taylor Greene in our rehearsals and did a brilliant job. I mean, Sarah's a very good debater. She actually I think we would agree. Marcus and I agree that in many ways Sarah was a tougher opponent than Marjorie Taylor Greene was in the end, because Sarah's just so good. But Marjorie Taylor Greene's no dummy. Marjorie Taylor Greene's not stupid. I think you make a mistake if you underestimate Miss Greene and underestimate her ability to work a crowd. So we went to Georgia Public Broadcasting. I was fortunate to be part of the retinue that the three of us were able to go. We got there on time. They were wonderful. Miss Green showed up just before broadcast. She had flown in from North Carolina, I believe, or Nashville, at the last minute. And she was ready to fight. But so was Marcus. And so Marcus Marcus put up a good fight. I'm not going to go into great detail. I would encourage you. I could put out a link later. I'll tweet out a link a couple of times of where you can find the full debate. It was only half an hour, so it was very fast. Miss Green tried to dominate the race, but she was very angry. She was very brittle. Marcus asked her some very hard questions. The reporters asked her some hard questions, and she was not prepared. And in the end, what we saw was someone who, in 2 years as a member of Congress, has not produced anything for her district. Miss Green sits on no committees. Miss Green's not passed a single piece of legislation. Not one piece of legislation. She rattled them off during the debate. Not one's gotten a single vote. And even co-sponsors, she always gets her little MAGA friends to co-sponsor her bills, but they go nowhere. It's never seen the light of day in a committee. She refuses earmarks. So not $1 of earmarked money is made to the district. Thank God for Senators Ossoff and Warnock. They've got money to the district. Georgia 14 is a rural district that needs the money. Miss Green refuses. She tries to claim grants. Marcus called her out for these grants that have come in. The grants that came in for the Catoosa County Sheriff and Riverside Mental Health came in anyways. They had nothing to do with her. We actually talked to Riverside Mental Health. They've never spoken to the congressman. So she tries to claim things that just occurred while she was a congressman as her accomplishments, and she had nothing to do with them. And so what you saw was that on debate. So I really would think you need to look at it. Plus, there's just a ton of clips. I think ACYN, Twitter handle, he got some great clips. Ron Filipkowski out of Florida got some great clips. You can really see the sparring that went on, and Marcus acquitted himself well. I'm very, very proud of my friend Marcus. He is a very brilliant man, and the thing about Marcus is he's doing this for the right reasons, and it shows. So I stayed on. We had a great week. If you have Showtime, I hope you do. You can see the circus on Showtime this Sunday at 8 Eastern. We'll be featured on there. Spent some time with Mark McKinney yesterday at one of our house parties. They spent some time knocking doors with us. You can see how Marcus is so well received by citizens in Georgia 14. We were in Cobb County yesterday, and they're just lovely people. I knocked doors here before the primary and just met the most just wonderful people. It's a great district that needs a congressman. And you'll see Marcus's closing case. And I think the closing case, I think for all of you, and then I'll probably get going because I do need to go catch a plane. I just ask you, as you go to the polls and as you talk to your friends and as you talk to your neighbors, as we get ready for the midterm election in 3 weeks, no matter where you are, but especially if you're in Georgia, especially if you're in Missouri or other places that are competitive or very red, make sure that people understand that this isn't, we're beyond Republican and Democrat, right? What Marcus said very well in his closing statement was great. He said very simply, this isn't Republican, Democrat. It's right versus wrong. It's decent versus indecent, right? And I think you saw that. I said, if you watch the show, you saw that in my introductory short episode like this that I did a few weeks ago. We have to make the choice for our democracy. And you may have to vote for someone who's not a member of your party, a Democrat specifically, because you know what? It's the right reason. They won't torch the country. No matter what anybody tells you about communism and socialism and all that ridiculous bullshit, no one's trying to turn the country socialist. They're trying to save this country. We do know for a fact that when you worry about inflation, everywhere's about inflation right now. I get it. But the Republicans have no plan. What the Republicans have already promised to do, McCarthy himself said that they will fight to the debt increase. They'll shut down the government. Look, if you don't think shutting down the federal government is going to cost inflation or is going to cause inflation, you don't understand. So I urge you to urge your friends and get out. Your local candidate needs your help. Your local candidate, especially your Democratic candidate, needs you to get out and knock doors. They need you to get out the vote in this next 2.5 weeks. I just can't tell you enough how much no political campaign in the history of campaigns has ever had enough volunteers. Every campaign of any party needs volunteers. So I think it'd be wonderful if you could do that. In the meantime, I hope you'll watch the circus on Sunday night and see Marcus in I think a very positive light, or at least a real light, which when you see someone like Marcus, you see a very positive light. The last thing I'll say is this is, Marcus's campaign is fueled by small donors. I got a little tiff, a little fight, if you will, on Twitter the other night because once again, Val Demings did a brilliant job in her debate with Marco Rubio. And immediately, people are on Twitter saying, well, that was great, but she's going to lose. You should give your money to Nevada or something. And I get it. Look, I get it. And I'm probably going to write an op-ed when this election's over, but I get what you're saying. People get frustrated. If I hear about Jamie Harris and Amy McGrath one more time, I'm going to scream. I get it. But these aren't big dollar donors. These aren't PACs and super PACs. Matter of fact, here in Georgia 14, there is not a single third party PAC participating in the campaign against Marjorie Taylor Greene. And would you believe that not one of the major super PACs that you all love and name has participated, has done a single ad about Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the greatest threats to our democracy? Not one single outside third-party super PAC has donated money or bought ad space to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene, because they've all made a calculated decision. Well, this district's not going to change. Screw it. We are not going to save our democracy when people write off large chunks of the country because it's just too goddamn hard. It's just, fuck it. It's too hard. This country was born in doing hard fucking things. And taking on the MAGA chuds, taking on these anti-American authoritarians is the right fight now. And if someone wants to give $21, which is the average donation to Marcus Flowers' campaign, $21. I think I checked the other day, like 500 people in the whole effing country have maxed out their donations. We've never held a fundraiser outside the district. Not one, not Hollywood, not New York, not one fundraiser. It is small dollar donors giving $21 on average because they care about taking our democracy back. And I just wish the people who had money, the big money, gave a fuck about our democracy as much as these little people did. But going on Twitter or TV and saying, don't give your money to those campaigns, be it Val Demings, be it Tim Ryan, be it Marcus Flowers, because gosh darn, there's no strategy to that. You're not going to win. It's a waste of money. It's not a fucking waste of money to fight for your country. Stop telling Americans they're stupid. Stop it. Stop using your platforms to tell average Americans who give a shit about their country they're stupid for doing so and giving their lottery ticket money to a campaign they care about. Because that's what you're doing every time you go on Twitter and poo-poo campaigns like fucking Marcus or Val Demings or anyone else in an uphill battle against a MAGA monster. So I'm angry. Probably why it's a good thing I'm not doing a full episode. But I'm very tired of pundits or experts or political columnists going on TV or writing another goddamn column about how it's a waste of money that Americans are giving money to the uphill campaign. Goddamn right it's uphill. We're not stupid. We're not stupid in Georgia 14. It's an R plus 35 district. You got to be delusional to think we think our chances are tough. But god damn it, when people are fired up, when people want to make a difference, when they want to donate to campaigns they care about, don't tell them they're stupid. Say, great, thank you. Hey, since you gave $25 to Val Demings, can you give $25 to Nevada, to Arizona's governor's race? Sure. And that's what our national parties and leaders should be doing, not smearing those who are doing well. So I'm fired up. There'll be more to come on this. But for now, I really appreciate your patience. I'm sorry we're not getting a full episode because of circumstances. I'm going to try to do 2 next week. I have an incredible guest lined up, John Della Volpe, who is the polling director for Harvard's Institute of Politics, an expert in the youth vote. I was so excited about the show, but technology didn't cooperate. But we'll get that hopefully next week, and then we'll maybe do 2 episodes next week. But in the meantime, please, please, please get out, vote. Take your $28 Taco Bell Twitter thing. Take your money that you maybe that $20, give to a candidate you care about, or give it to a candidate you've never effing heard of. They all need your help. Every Democrat candidate needs your help. We all do. But we can save this democracy if we take on the tough fights. And when people take on tough fights, don't stand on the sidelines and bitch about it, because they're in the arena. And this is something I say to all my candidates, especially Marcus right now. He's had people stalk his house. The day after the primary, there was a black SUV going back and forth in front of his house, rolling the window down, taking pictures of his daughter. We've had Marjorie Taylor Greene barge into the campaign office with her thugs. Those men and women are stepping into the arena and they're getting scuffed up. They're getting attacked. They're getting beaten. And the last thing those candidates need is fucking experts on the internet telling them it's a fucking waste of time. I was talking to our deputy campaign manager, and then I'll close this out. Talking to our deputy campaign manager yesterday, and she said something really heartbreaking to me. She said, "You know what, Fred? Our volunteers and our field team, we have a 17-person field team, all being paid a living wage, spread across Georgia 14. They're going where places Democrats haven't gone for a decade." But she said to me, she goes, "Fred, you know what's really disheartening, honestly, in this whole thing? Is they're on Twitter. They're on the internet. The other day, we posted pictures of our young staff, 25-year-olds who've moved to Northwest Georgia temporarily to help Marcus run for office. We posted pictures of these young kids who voted early, registered to vote and voted early here in Georgia. And literally the comments on their pictures that they were tagged in was, what a waste of time and money. Can you imagine that being your kid who's put their heart and soul into a campaign and some fucking random asshole on the internet saying, you're wasting your time? You know what? Do us all a favor. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Because better people than you have stepped into the arena to fight for their country. Better than you. They're not being paid a lot of money. Hell, the candidates don't get paid very much. They've given up their day lives to go run for office or campaign for office or support a campaign, and you're sitting behind your computer telling them they're going to lose. Just shut up. It's my rant. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate your patience with the democracy. We're blowing up. Please tell your friends, sign up. Please share the clips. We really need your support as we build out this program. We're almost a month into it, and it's going great. I just really appreciate you listening to my craziness. But thanks for joining me. I will see you soon. The full episode with some great guests. In the meantime, let's go fight for our democracy. Thanks.